Ranked Bedwars is a game mode created by the community. It is hosted in a Discord server, which features a bot that runs a leaderboard, manages the queues, and also features a ticket system to talk to staff. Today, I'm going to teach you about everything you need to know about Ranked Bedwars, from registering in the Discord to general strategy and tips. There is a lot of info in this video, so if you need timestamps, they are all linked in the description. There is also more information in the Discord if you want to check it out. Hope you guys enjoy. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. I put a ton of effort in my videos and any support would mean the world to me. I also made a new Twitch channel where I'll be doing mostly daily streams and doing other games like Skywars if you want to watch streams there. Link in the description. In order to play Ranked Bedwars, you need to be registered. To do this, join the Ranked Bedwars Discord server using the first link in the description. Before registering, you need to make sure that your Discord account is linked to Hypixel. To do this, log on to Hypixel and click on the player head in your hotbar. Then, click on social media, click on the Discord link, and then type in your Discord tag. Once you do this, you can then register in the Ranked Bedwars Discord server. Make sure your Discord account has a phone number linked to it. This is required so that the staff know that you're not an alt account. Once you're in the server, head over to the register channel and type =register and then your in-game name. The queuing process in Ranked Bedwars is actually really simple. All you need to do is join either the waiting room or private queues channels. The only difference between these channels is that you can sit in private with your friends or by yourself. Everyone is involved in the same matchmaking no matter which channel you are sitting in. When you are in a channel, head over to the play channel under waiting rooms and type in =J. This adds you to the queue, and when there are 7 other players in your ELO range in the queue, the bot will automatically generate teams based on ELO. It will then create team calls and move everyone into their respective calls. After all that is done, a game text channel is created. You will be pinged in this channel. It will show the list of players on both teams as well as map picking. The bot will give you 3 random maps from a map pool, and the one with the most votes will be played in that game. A recent addition to Ranked Bedwars is the duo queuing system. This allows you to create a party and play Ranked Bedwars with a friend. The only limitation on this is that you must be within 300 ELO of the person you are playing with. To duo queue, all you have to do is do =party invite and then tag the person you want to play with. They have to join the party and then you both have to be in the same voice call. Once you're both in, the party leader can type =J as normal. You will both be guaranteed to be put on the same team. Because there are 4 players on each team, there are 4 different roles in Ranked Bedwars. At the beginning of the game, the first rusher, or the bridger, has to stand at the front of the forge. Everyone else has to stand at the back of the forge so that they don't pick up the bridger's items. Everyone has to throw 4 to 6 iron to the bridger immediately when the game starts. The bridger can wait for 28 to 32 iron to buy 2 stacks of blocks. Once ready, they can throw all the gold back into the forge and then start bridging. They should either 2 or 3 stack to height limit depending on the map. Once the bridger leaves, the second rusher should step up to the front of the forge. Everyone else has to throw them gold. They should wait for 12 gold and 48 iron. This is so they can buy iron armor, shears, either a stone sword or a wooden pickaxe, and 48 blocks in case the bridger ends up falling. When the second rusher leaves, the third rusher should throw 20 iron to the defender. The defender should give them gold so they can also buy iron armor. They should also buy blocks, tools, and a stone sword if necessary. When the third rusher leaves, the defender should wait for 76 iron. With this iron, they should make the butterfly defense, which costs endstone and 16 glass. Once they defend, they should buy a few blocks and head up the bridge as quickly as possible. You should discuss with your team before the game who's gonna cover which role. The Ranked Bedwars ELO system is a manual system managed by a group of scores. When you win a game, you gain ELO. When you lose ELO. When you're the top killer in a game, you get additional ELO, no matter if you win or lose. In order to receive ELO for a game, you have to take a screenshot of the win message. This is shown right when the game is over. When you take this screenshot, head to the game channel where you originally picked the map. Drag and drop the screenshot into the channel and type =score. This submits the screenshot to the scorers and the game channel is closed. The scorers will then eventually assign you ELO. This may take a while depending on how many games need to be scored at the time. The amount of ELO you earn is based on your rank. When you're a lower elo, you gain more elo per win and you lose less elo for losing. But when you're a higher elo, you gain less elo per win and you lose more if you lose. Here is some of the general strategy for Ranked Bedwars that may help you win more games. When you're the bridger, you should always 2 or 3 stack the height limit, with the exceptions being on the maps Lectus and Invasion, where you have to turn to the left a few blocks before height limit. When you're at height limit, you should create platforms when the other team is approaching. This is so you have less of a chance of getting knocked off. When you're on these platforms, be aware of fireballs. The other team could easily throw one and knock multiple people off if no one's paying attention. When you're approaching the other team on the platforms, do some basic math. If your team has more players than they do, you should take the fight. If they have more players, hold off and try to wait for a good fireball. You should always communicate with your team and let them know that you're going to take fights. When your team is outnumbered, you can always use shears to break the bridge in front of you. This separates them from you and it allows for your team to have more time to come up the bridge. Pressure is one of the most important parts of Ranked Bedwars. When you're holding pressure, try not to take too many fights. Play passive and allow your team to get diamonds and emeralds. You should always try to have the high ground over your opponents. You can make bridges above their base and make them pillar up to you. Although, people will usually try to use ladders to get up to you. You can easily counter this by not fighting them if they're on a ladder. You can also break the block that the ladder is on so that the players fall off of the ladder. On the other hand, countering pressure is one of the hardest things to do in Ranked Bedwars, especially if the other team knows what they're doing. The most important thing is to try not to get knocked off. You should place blocks around you and be aware of anyone trying to break the blocks. You can use ladders and have patience and make sure your ladders don't get broken. If there are multiple people on the other team standing above your bed, make sure that there is at least one person on bed at all times. This is so that if they drop, someone will be there to defend the bed. Collecting emeralds and diamonds can easily influence who wins a game. Collecting these resources is extremely important when you have pressure. You shouldn't really collect diamonds until 4 minutes into the game, unless they are side rushing. This is because not enough time has passed for the generators to be full. You should be collecting emeralds frequently during a game. You should always collect them if you get hit down the middle and somehow survive. Depending on the situation, you may also want to create a low bridge. This will give you easy access to middle and allow for you to counter anyone who's collecting the emeralds on the other team. When you collect these emeralds, you may want to bridge to a different base and start side rushing from there. Side rushing is easily one of the most annoying strategies to counter in Ranked Bedwars. When you're the one side rushing, you should always have your team call out if someone is going to attack you at side. When you hear this, you should store everything you own in the ender chest in case you die. You should be constantly stealing diamonds from the enemy diamond gens so they can't get them. When you see the other team side rushing, you should immediately call it out and send one person to match them. For example, if they're bridging to blue base, you should send one of your team members to those diamonds to pick them up and make sure they can't steal them. Breaking beds is one of the hardest things to do in Ranked Bedwars. You should always be patient when trying to break a bed. Wait for opportunities when the other team is not on their bed and take them. You should really practice blocking in. Wood block-ins are extremely effective, and if the other team does not have an axe to counter, you will almost always get the bed. Let your teammates help you break the bed. Make sure you establish who's going to break the bed and who's going to distract. One extremely effective way of getting beds is invising. The two mainly used strategies for invising are bringing a fireball on a gold pick or doing a wood block-in and using a gold pick to get the bed. However, countering invis is actually really hard to do. Throughout the whole game, you should always be keeping track of where all 4 players are on the map. If you don't see 4 players, likely one of them is invis. When you spot this, call this out immediately and make sure there are at least 3 people at base. You should buy an axe to counter a wood block-in and have everyone constantly surround the bed. People usually try to trick you by mining a block on one side of the bed, then changing over to the other side to actually break the bed. Here are some general tips to keep in mind when playing Ranked Bedwars. The absolute most important tip I can give to any new Ranked Bedwars player is to always listen to your teammates if they are more experienced than you. They know what they're doing. Listen to them. At the beginning of the game, everyone should try to make their way up the bridge as fast as possible in order to not get outnumbered at middle. While you're at it, keep watch for fireballs and make sure to quickly warn someone if a fireball is being thrown. When you're taking bridge fights, always communicate with your team and make sure that they're on the same page. Make sure to warn them if someone is coming up from below them or behind them. You should always be communicating with your team to make sure that you see all 4 players. This prevents you from getting invis when you don't know it, or if someone's trying to hide behind your base. It happens a lot. If you see the other team collected emeralds, make sure to call it out. Try to keep a rough estimate of how many they collected and keep track of how many they use. When it comes to breaking beds, if you see an opportunity to take a 1v1 with someone to break their bed, take it. Worst case is you lose the 1v1 and you just get to go back and try again. When you're side rushing, try to gear up more than your opponent. This increases your chance of winning 1v1s. Have patience and be aware of any tricks they may pull, such as fireball jumping or trying to outplay you. When you're invising, you should always try to drink milk to make sure that you don't trigger traps. Don't drink the invis on the top bridge or at your own base. Make sure no one is near you when you drink the invis, and you can use bridge eggs from middle to get to the other base. And that's pretty much it for the guide. Join the Ranked Bedwars Discord for any answers to any additional questions, or you can feel free to ask anything in the comments and I will try to respond.